No? Good.
Hi, guys. We're live. Yes, this show is going to be a real kick, John. Hi, everybody. This
John's
is
here
me.
already.
John's here
John's
already.
always
Camden's
here.
here. John is Johnny on the spot.
I see what you did there.
Sorry.
Welcome to the Arthur Football Podcast, where we are always on it. Sponsored by, I actually work with 3 people who live in New Jersey and work remote. And I said to one of them the other day, have you ever been to Donkeys? And she's like, the one in Medford or Mount Holly? And I'm like, no, the one in Camden. And she's like, I didn't know there was one in Camden. I said, there are 3. And she couldn't figure out how I knew about Donkeys' amazing cheesesteaks in New Jersey. They are the, I think, proud sponsors of the Arthur Podcast.
We hope they're proud of
I'm
us.
Cleveland Tate. I'm just jumping in and pretending we're not all laughing and having a good time. That's Sonia over there or over there.
Yep. I'm
one
over
of those
there.
ways. And Miss the Sports Jinx, Michelle Jinx, here to talk with us today. And hopefully Lisa will be joining us. She is on her way to Mobile for the Reeces Senior Bowl. And I'm pretty sure Sonia warned her earlier today about traffic in Mobile, and she didn't listen, and she's stuck in traffic. So she will join us when she can.
And yes, it is always a treat when Ma Jinx joins the party.
Yeah.
It ain't no party like a Ma Jinx party because Ma Jinx party
Let the
don't stop.
hijinks-
Hey!
Let the hijinks with Ma Jinx begin.
Exactly. All right. So today we're breaking it up a little bit. We could kind of talk about the NFC and AFC championship games, but we kind of brought Michelle on just so that we could talk some college.
Oh,
Because
really?
it's getting, we're talking some college today, y'all. We're going to go back to school. We could wrap up national championship game, but I know we were going to talk about like realignments, and we kind of want to talk about the coaching carousel. We lost a couple of Nick Saban is gone now. And what does that mean for college? Jim Harbaugh is back to the NFL. Thank God that the NFL gets him back, because now the NFL is going to be so much better. I'm being slightly sarcastic here because that's what everybody's saying.
I just want to be at the first Harbaugh family dinner where Jim throws it in John's face that he just won a national championship and John got knocked out the playoffs by Kansas City. Because there's going to be that brother-on-brother crime going on.
There's always going to be that brother-on-brother crime. I mean, heck, they played each other in a Super Bowl, for crying out loud. And so, unfinished business. I guess John's been holding it over Jim. And so Jim's like, I got to get this Lombardi. F that,
Yeah. Now it'll be a race to see who can get the next one.
Exactly. And then, so we'll talk about that, talk about conference realignment. That has been something that's been super fascinating to me, more so in the fact that it's just been blown up. I feel like, the Pac-12 is no more. It's wow, it's crazy. And so I think we are coming into that one big power I know we say we have the Power 5, but it's dwindling. But so we're going to talk about that, and then probably towards the end, if we run out, we can probably chat about the championship games and what all happened there. So let's get started, shall we?
Let's rock and roll.
Let's rock and roll. So let's first talk coaches and how Nick Saban getting or retiring. How big of a surprise is that for you all?
I think it surprised me, but when I sat and thought about it, my opinion is that with the college football playoff changing the way it's working, the way all of the realignment is working, and then you've got the transfer portal and the NIL, the name, image, and likeness money. That NIL is really affecting the way coaches recruit in college. And I think Nick kind of saw the writing on the wall and thought maybe he best, get out while the getting's good. I'm sure he would have liked to have gone out with the championship, but my gut is that he was going to do it at the end of this year regardless, because I think if he was wavering on the decision, he'd stay for another year. the fact that he's leaving after losing tells me that he was going to go anyway. I think it's that NIL money changes everything. And I personally think they should just back the entire season up 2 weeks. So then the transfer portal doesn't matter. Then those kids can play in the bowl games and in the playoff games for a championship because they haven't. Right now, with the way the dates are, they have to be at their new school before the season is really over, right? The regular season's over, but the bowl season is going on. And it's not that they don't want to play for their current school. It's just they have to report to their new school and start classes and stuff, so they can. If they just back the season up 2 weeks, that isn't an issue. So people want to revise the transfer portal. I'm like, you really can't. It's the NIL money and the realignment is going to change. The SEC is not going to be what it was. The Big Ten is like, I got to go count the Big 32 or whatever it is now. It's the big mess, I think I'm going to call it.
Hold up. I think Boise State just said that they were coming to the Big Ten.
There are 16 in the teams in the Big 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 in the ACC. The Big Ten will have 18 teams because they got most of the Pac-12.
Yep.
Although when this was done, Oregon State and Washington are still showing as Pac-12, but I believe they're both coming to Big Ten, which would make it Big 20.
Oregon State and Washington State.
I think they stayed at least.
They haven't gone to either. They haven't gone to either of them.
Are they still staying
They're going
there?
to like the Mountain West or something like that. I don't know.
All right, there are 16 in the SEC. Notre Dame, UConn, and UMass are still staying independent. But from a football standpoint, UConn and UMass, we don't care. You're basketball schools. Worry about your basketball season. I don't know. I mean, it still leaves you that big Power 5. But there's going to be this Army Athletic Conference or American Athletic Conference with Army and Rice and Temple, Tulane, Tulsa. Like, there's 14 schools that are going into that one. It's just very weird. Conference USA is 10 schools. And then there's the MAC. Love the MAC. Sonia used to probably be a bigger MAC fan when she lived in the Midwest. 12 schools still in the MAC. Mountain West has 12. Sunbelt, I don't remember. Is this a new one that they created?
Sunbelt?
There are 14 teams in the Sunbelt.
No,
the Sunbelt's been around. They just different teams. Yep.
I just don't know that I've ever heard it called that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's always been the Sunbelt. Yep.
Yeah, so that's sort of how it's all shaken out. I don't know that Oregon and Oregon State and Washington State can stay out. I think they're going to need to go. They're going to need to be in a bigger in a conference somewhere. So I'm looking to see if I have any updates on those two specifically.
Where could they be adopted?
I mean, Big 12 would take them geographically. I mean, Big 10 seems weird.
But Big 10
it's such a Midwest. And then it went a little east when we added Rutgers. You know I love my geography. You know if I had my way, the NFL would be split up by geography. I've already go to the Archer Football website and look, and you can find the article I wrote a couple years ago. There was a map and everything where I redid all the conference. I left the AFC teams in the AFC and the NFC teams in the NFC because people seem to care about that stuff. And then I just redid the division so that geographically they made sense. You know, putting the Philadelphia Eagles and the Giants and Dallas and Washington. Like, why is Dallas in with these three East Coast teams? You know, you got time zone challenges just to play in your own division. So I redid those. So geographically, they should stay with a lot of those teams should have stayed with the West Coast Conference. It's going to be very weird having Oregon and Washington in the Big Ten. Because I'm just, like I said, I'm so used to it being Midwest. Nebraska, Wisconsin, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, like this central area of the country. I'm doing my map hands. It's those West Coast should have their own conference.
Agreed. The West Coast should have their own conference, but that's.
I mean,
that's
they did.
just
They were
me.
the Pac-12, and why they. I still don't understand why they all left but two, and I don't know what their problem was, but
I'm gonna miss the Pac-12. So I mean,
That's not going to work, Cam.
I really did enjoy that conference. One, because they come on real late at night when I couldn't sleep, and so they were an offensive conference, and so it made it exciting. I mean, not that I like offense, but at that time of night, yes. And so I've always watched those games really late. They were very competitive conference in the sense that their games were always great. So they were typically high scoring. You know, it's midnight on the East Coast, 1:00 in the morning. The games are still on. You know, and so I think I'm going to miss that. It's just going to be weird. But as a college football fan, it doesn't really matter to me about the conferences. I just want to see teams play. I want to see the top teams play each other. I want to see the playoffs. I'm happy that the playoffs is expanding to 12 teams. I think that's the most exciting part of this whole realignment and everything that's going on. With their realignment, I can't keep up with who's in what conference anyway. It's almost like you can't keep up with the players because they change teams every year. I can't keep up with who's in what conference. I think that's going to be really confusing once the season starts. But I think that in the end, we'll get some better teams. I see that they've also adopted the WNBA strategy where there are no divisions in these conferences, and they're just going to take the top two teams, top two teams with the best records. Those teams will play for the conference championship. So I think, you know, if we get out of our own heads about what used to be and what was, then, you know, I think we'll be able to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy some football regardless. So whoever plays, you know, I'm okay with that. Just a little thing on the Nick Saban thing, because I think that was what we started with. I think there is some truth to, you know, him leaving because of all of the changes. I think when you are a coach of, as we call the old style coaching, and those coaches that's been around for a long time, all of these changes, this NIL, and more importantly, the transfer portal, is almost like starting over for them. So that's a whole new ball game that they can't deal with. I think Alabama and Nick Saban can deal with the NIL. I think as they call it, friends of the program, would have been able to put up the money that was needed to get some of that money. But it changes the game because now you don't have to be a Power 5 school. You can be a mid-major school if you have some friends of the program who can pay these kids to get there. So it kind of changes the game, which is almost like what the transfer portal, well, I won't say the transfer portal, but what the one and done did for college basketball. So with the one and done, where all of the top teams get all of the top recruits, well, they only stay for 1 year. And meanwhile, those kids that's going to those other schools that are playing for 4 years, you started seeing in the tournament where a lot more upsets, because those teams are better. They have better chemistry. They've been playing for 4 years, and your roster keeps changing every year with someone from high school, a freshman. So it was difficult, and I think that's what the NIL and the transfer portal is doing for college football.
Yeah, I just found Oregon State and Washington State are going to be part of Mountain West, but they only committed to 1 year. They want to keep their options open and see. So for this upcoming year, they will be in Mountain West.
They may as well join the ACC.
Yeah.
Well, one.
Yeah. I've been reading up on how the playoffs are going to work for next year.
Playoffs.
Playoffs. Yes. Jim Israel. I mean,
Jim Mora. I love those commercials.
Jim Mora. My
bad.
I love those commercials. They're
so hilarious. It's the sixth highest. They're still going to do rankings. The sixth highest ranked conference championships are the first 6 teams. And then the next 6 teams in the rankings. So it'll probably be the top 12. What I thought was interesting is now those games are all bowl games, right? From what I read, these aren't bowl games until like the 3rd or 4th round. The first couple rounds, the lower seed picks the venue. They can host. The lower seed will select the host venue during the first round. Bowl games will be introduced in the quarterfinal round. The semifinals will be played in bowls on a rotating basis, while the national championship host site is determined by venues that bid. So like they bid to be the Super Bowl or you bid to host the draft, stadiums are going to bid to hold the national championship game.
Which is similar to what they do for the NCAA basketball tournament. So every year, you know, you bid. They bid. They know where they're going 5 years out because they bid on those cities. So I think they've adopted some of that to go. And I think that's going to be fine. I mean, one, we have too many bowls, and I guess they're going to get rid of some of them, hopefully, because, you know, and then
there's big money in the. I mean, people pay big money to have their name.
I know,
so
but
the names of the bowl crack me up. I think those.
You're one game over 500. Unless you won this tournament, the conference championship, you don't need to be in a bowl. And
well, I completely agree, but you still only got 12. Now you went from 4 teams to 12 in the playoffs. That still leaves an awful lot of other teams who will take a paycheck to go play somewhere.
I know they will.
You know, I'm old. I bowl games used to be a bigger deal to me. And being a Big Ten fan, and that's why with the Pac-12 being, you know, the Rose Bowl was always Big Ten versus Pac-12, the champion. That was before the playoffs and this stuff, when they just voted on a national championship, the Rose Bowl was a bigger deal. The Rose Bowl, Cotton Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Citrus Bowl, those were big deals. And they're just not, they've lost some of their prestige to me because everybody gets a bowl game. Because you're right, there are so many that everybody gets to play in one, and they're just not as special as they used to be.
Right.
I won't say nobody cares anymore, John, but I will say that it's watered down big time. And I think all these bowls, like you said, it's just not as special.
Well, because you have a playoff. You have a playoff, a true championship. So before, again, we just went by a poll, and the poll dictated who was going to be the national champion. And so all of those bowls meant something. But now you needed to utilize those bowls as the rounds for the playoffs. Then they will mean something, because now that team will advance to another game. That's the only way to make them mean something. Other than that, you know.
Yeah. And again, back in the day, there wasn't as much TV coverage of a lot of these schools. So a lot of these kids got NFL scouts looking at them by playing in bowl games.
Yep.
Now they're sitting out the bowl game because they've got film from the whole season and they don't want to get hurt. But 20 years ago, that was how the NFL scouts went to some games during the season, but they all went to bowl games. Mm-hmm. And that's where they were looking at guys at those bowl games. And now there's just the TV deals have gotten so lucrative and so broad spread. Michelle, you can watch football at 1 o'clock in the morning because it's still going on. We get to
all day from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep. Woohoo!
If you need to know where Michelle is on a Saturday.
On Saturday and Sunday, I am in front of the TV. I have like 4 TVs out here in the living room. So if you see me tweeting about different games, I'm watching all of them.
She don't even switch back and forth channels like some of us do. She got a different TV for each perspective.
Yeah,
exactly. She's got Buffalo Wild Wings.
I'm a professional sports bar watcher, so I know how to watch all of those TVs. Like, just especially football is easy because it takes a long time between plays, so I can. It's great.
Yep, exactly. That's why Michelle does what she does. Because hats off to you. Respect, Michelle, says Camden. There you go. I love that for you. So it's just a lot. I think change is good. Will it take some time to adjust? I think so. I think Nick Saban saw the writing on the wall, like you said. I think obviously either he feels like he can't keep up with it, or just probably doesn't want to keep up with it.
And doesn't have to.
It's just very different. And I don't know that it works. I don't know that today's player works with his style of coaching. Because we've talked about this before. Today's players don't react as well to that old style coach and the screaming and yelling kind of stuff. And you will do what I say and respect and all those things. And, he's probably still got an old flip phone and a pager. You need to be up on the technology and the music and the games and all the things these players are into to kind of like, it's so generational. Lord, girl, you did not. At least it's not a Nokia text by pushing the number 3 5 times to get a letter C or whatever it was. Lord. I think I think there's quite a few coaches who, at the college level, I think is different. At the professional level in the NFL, grow up, boys, you're getting a paycheck. You are going to listen. He's the boss. In college, I think the coaches have to be able to relate more to this generation of players. And I think that's something Nick struggled with.
Woohoo!
Welcome, Lisa.
Live from Mobile.
Yes, I'm
The
going
women
with
is
you
on the
next
wall
year. I'm
behind
going
you,
to
but
Mobile with
it's
you next year.
weird.
Okay, definitely.
What is
come
that
with me,
art
man.
on the wall behind you?
This is my best friend's beach house that I'm at.
Big
Which
time.
is a little weird.
I'm sad.
So yeah, so it's I hear the waves of the Gulf right there.
Oh,
my
that's
goodness.
so
This-
awesome.
And this is
I'm so
the first time I've
jealous
seen
right
her
now.
new house. So this house is magnificent. So
Oh,
it's like
that's
trying to
nice.
get from there. So it should be, but she's a little bit outside of Pensacola. So it took me a little bit of time to try to get through 10 to get here. So because I went in there, so I'm gonna pick up the credentials and everything tomorrow. So I was just trying to talk to people and kind of gauge of what am I looking for? What's my class? And Jim, I guess he was on most of streaming today with a lot of them. And this offensive line class looks like it's going to be something to watch. So, I've got to go through the roster here. I've got to kind of see who I'm going to target, but apparently there's some pretty big prospects. He said up to 9 to 10 offensive linemen he could see go in the first round.
Awesome.
Wow.
So
Tell my boy Emery I said hello.
I
Emery,
will. I will. But
Is Emery
it's
there this week?
yeah, I believe he is here,
he
right?
is.
Yes. there is. If that traffic's any indicator downtown Mobile, boy, it's hopping. I mean, they got.
I'll see him next month at the Combine. We all get to see Emery
Okay.
twice a year in person. So Lisa gets him in January. I get him end of February.
Right. Right. So Michelle, I haven't seen you in a minute.
I know. It's been a long time.
All about the who.
You. My hand to
What
Lisa.
happened to the Canes this year?
Let's not talk about that. Let's move on.
Why not?
Every year is our year. The Canes are like the Cowboys. All my teams suck, by the way. So I just want the Canes and the Cowboys, we just relive our glory days. And every year is our year. We get new coaches. We get this. We have promise. And then we get down to it halfway down, we go back to the same heartache. So that's where we are.
Do you know how many Cowboy fans it takes to change a light bulb?
Not me.
Just one, but you got to listen to the story of all the great light bulbs that came before.
That's all right. I tell people all the time, in all the years that we did, you just got to catch us. If you catch me, then I'm okay. If you can't catch me, quit talking.
What I thought was interesting this year, Michelle, if we'll talk a little NFL here, is
Sure, good.
I was surprised at all the hate the Browns got when they were playing the Texans on social media that both teams got, right? I shouldn't have been, but I was. I was equally surprised when Dallas lost at all the hate coming at Dallas and Jerry Jones after that loss. All the comments about, the Lions have gone over in a season since the last time Dallas was in the Super Bowl. Like, just they are coming for Dallas. And
everything is about
I
Dallas.
didn't realize there was that much hate out there in social media for Cowboys.
I don't know why you didn't realize it. I don't know why
I
you
was about
realize
to
it.
say.
It's like it's crazy that they insert Dallas into every single conversation. Things that have nothing to do with that. I mean, that comment. Like, there are so many other teams that the Lions got there before. People don't remember the San Francisco hasn't won a Super Bowl since 1994, but it's never talked about. It's only Dallas. And matter of fact, we were the only team to lose this whole playoffs. Nobody else has lost but us. But it's okay. I mean, if you're a Cowboy fan, you're used to it. I mean, that's just it. Just goes with being a Cowboy fan. So, I don't care. To say what you want, I'm gonna be there until it is.
He knows.
Listen,
and it's the new Cowboy fans that you have to feel sorry for.
Yes,
I tell people every day, I can die right now and I'm gonna be happy because I saw them play in 4 Super Bowls. I saw them win 3 Super Bowls. The new Cowboy fans, the ones that born or wasn't around, they have not. All they've heard is hate and promise and promise. That's it. They have promise. They got the team that sells the most, the teams that's most watched, the team that's on TV all the time, the team that nobody can stop talking about but can't win. That's all they have.
And that's all they talk about.
Yeah.
And plus, go ahead. Yeah.
And plus with Lamar and Kate, Sonia was in the big show. She was getting ready. She was one game away. And what gets me is with this new breed of fan is how hateful they are. Your team is one winner from the AFC going to represent in the Super Bowl. I'm sitting home on the couch and they're ripping these quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what it takes to win in this league to get to where you are? And they're just like, Lamar. I'll take Lamar tomorrow. I don't give a damn. I'll take him tomorrow on my team.
The people who said he was the MVP early in the day on Sunday and were hating and wanted him out of town.
They wanted him out. I'm like, first of all, the MVP has nothing to do with the playoffs. It's the regular season.
Not at all.
Right.
That vote's already in. So they already know, they just haven't opened the envelope.
Yeah.
So and Lamar knows he didn't play well, but this is the first time they've gotten that far. So, things take steps. Everybody's not going. It's hard to get to the Super Bowl. People don't. There are teams who are never been to the Super Bowl. Never. Yep. It's hard to get there, and then it's hard to win. It's hard to win back to back. It's not easy. It's not easy to do.
Agreed. And it's frustrating for, I think, 30 or 31 other teams when you see the way Kansas City does it, right? They had that spell at the end of the season where I didn't even know if they were going to make the playoffs, and yet they just hot knife through buttered on the playoffs. Like they're a whole different team when the playoffs happen, and that's not easy to do. But they make it look easy.
Well, I had to tell them you had to.
I just wanted them to lose. I'm tired of Kansas City.
But you got to respect Andy Reid, and that was one of the things. There was a tweet that someone tweeted. It was right after the game, and I was Eagle fan, and I was like, I wish we would have had this Andy Reid. And I was like, you did have this Andy Reid. The Eagles went to 4 straight NFC championships with Andy Reid. They went to 1 Super Bowl. They didn't win, but you was there. The only difference is you didn't have Mahomes to go with Andy Reid, but you had Andy Reid. And that was the most successful time for the Eagles during that period while he was there. So this is what he does. I mean, he's a great coach.
Right.
And
coaching
he has
matters.
Coaching matters. Yeah, because he's a great coach. And those Eagle teams weren't that good. I mean, they weren't that good. They didn't have a lot of talent. They had good defense, but the offense wasn't that talented. But I was always surprised. But they dominated, and so
I'm struggling to find anything to get excited about in watching this Super Bowl. I didn't want either of these teams in it. I wanted them to lose already. I would have taken just about anybody besides these two teams.
Relationship with you.
Think about the things. Yeah, I'm ready for
I'm ready
halftime.
for Usher. Yeah,
And I hate the 49ers because I'm a Cowboy fan, so I'm going for a Patty.
Pulling for
Anybody want to make a prediction on the game?
I got is it money or is it just my heart?
It's your heart, baby.
If you had to put $100 down right now,
if I had to put $100 down, I would bet on San Francisco winning by 3. But my heart is going for Kansas City. And I think Kansas City is going to win. It's not going to be as high scoring as we think, though.
Yeah,
that's what I don't think it's going to be as high scoring as we think.
You've got Pat Mahomes versus the very last pick in the draft. It'll be interesting.
No, it won't. It's going to be like this. Is exactly
with what I've seen Kansas City do the last couple weeks.
Do not underestimate Brock Purdy. He's been doing it.
He should have had 2 more interceptions in this game.
He should have
had 2. He is lucky. He's on the skirt of luckiness.
If San Francisco, if he not gotten hurt last year, San Francisco would have been right here.
If Dan Campbell had taken the points,
Campbell I'm not going to say it because Sonya's going to.
I can't pick against Kansas City.
No, I'm not going to come for you. I'm going to say,
I don't know how anybody can pick against Kansas City.
You can't. Listen, you can't.
You can't because time and time again they
I don't
prove
know how
that
Travis Kelce doesn't have 3 defenders on him. Like, that's your whole game plan. That could be San Francisco's
Yeah.
whole game plan. Put three
Clyde
guys in Travis
said-
Kelce and figure out what else is left.
It's not. It's just that he and Mahomes have so much chemistry. I
They
mean,
do.
you know, he sees.
And, well, to clarify,
Andy's
it's
gonna
not
run.
that I don't like Taylor Swift. I love Taylor Swift. I love her music. What I don't like is the non-football fans who are now asking me stupid questions. They're not asking me, please help me understand football, legitimate questions. Their airhead fangirl is Jason Kelce single, and I could be Taylor's sister-in-law. I'm like, no, he's not. And
Well,
stop.
the thing is, nobody hates Taylor. I mean, I didn't even know. I mean, I knew who she was. I don't know any of her music. I don't
you know her music. Come
I
on.
swear,
You know
Lisa, I have
know.
never heard a Taylor. I do not. If I did not know it.
You don't listen to country music?
This is what I know about Taylor. I do listen to country because of Tennessee.
That Tim McGraw song is a classic.
But I would
Tim
not know
McGraw.
Taylor Swift if she stood right by me and started singing. But what I do know about her, this is what I remember about Taylor Swift. This is what I know about Taylor Swift.
I love
On
you,
the
Michelle.
award show when she got the award and Kanye West walked up there.
That's the only thing she
That's
knows.
what I know about Taylor Swift. Other than that, her dating Travis Kelce is Taylor
See,
Swift. I know who she
but
is.
I
I
have to
know
give
who
it to
she
you.
is.
But they're
I just
shoving
doesn't-
it down
I just
our
don't know
throats.
music.
You can't watch a game without the announcers talking about it and the
And so
the
now
TV
we're
crew
aggravated
putting it on
because
there, and
every
I'm
5 minutes you have to show every play.
Yeah.
You have to show Taylor. I get
Yeah,
that
can we
she's
just watch
there. I
football?
get she's a bit. I don't care if it was Beyonce, Michael Jackson, Prince. I'm watching the football game. Okay, show me that they there, and then that's it. I
Right.
don't have to keep seeing them the whole game. Like,
Exactly.
every
Exactly.
5 minutes. That's the aggravating part. I don't think it has anything specifically to do about Taylor Swift. I don't care who it was. I don't want to see them if
Agreed.
they're not playing.
agreed.
I
Yeah.
don't want to see Jerry Jones and he's the owner. He's not playing. Stop showing him.
The only thing
Right.
I need from Michelle is I need Michelle when she's on X, formerly known as Twitter. You just got to tell me which game you're watching because you were watching the girls' basketball game the one time, and I was watching the NFL, and you were talking about, oh, that's traveling. I'm like, what? What is
That's
she
because I
talking
have all
about?
these
You missed that,
TVs.
Lisa. She got 4 TVs.
She has
watching all
to.
games. She
It
watching
is-
all
yeah.
games. It's
I
like
have to
Buffalo
put my
Wild Wings
South
in her
Carolina
living room. She's
Gamecocks
got
on.
all the games.
I have to put my Gamecocks on, my South Carolina Gamecocks on.
But you got to, to Lisa's point, Michelle, you got to start throwing a hashtag of something.
Something you
on
got to
YouTube
because
so
I'm
we
like,
have
there's
context
no
of which
traveling
TV
in
you're
football.
watching.
There's no traveling in football.
I can't help it.
I'm just impressed because Michelle will be like talking tennis, then she'll be talking WNBA, and then she'll throw in a
It's the tennis that throws me for a loop. I don't know how people can watch tennis.
You know I
I
love
was waiting
tennis.
for the Royal Rumble
And she's
winner
tweeting
from
about
I
it.
had to get
Michelle. I
up
was
at
watching
3
the
in the
Royal
morning to
Rumble.
watch Coco.
I was watching the Royal Rumble.
And Lisa, I don't know how you can call it X. I can't have a conversation with someone and say, hey, I hear
I'm
you're on
not
X.
calling it. I'm not.
Because that
calling
just sounds
it.
like you're doing
Nothing but Twitter.
drugs.
I
When
know
you were
it,
on
but
X the other day,
That's kind
no,
of what
when you
they're
were on
saying
Twitter.
is X, formerly Twitter.
I'm not doing it because I'm not a professional journalist, so I'm not doing it. So
That's right.
I'm gonna
We
say
don't have
Twitter.
to. We don't have to, right?
Twitter.
We don't have to. We can still call it Twitter. It's
No,
okay.
hashtag
I
that.
still do.
Hashtags X. I'm gonna let you know, Lisa.
Okay,
Next time
thank
I'm
you.
switching up.
'Cause I'm like, what is she talking about?
Because I'm gonna have like 3 basketball games on. in
You
a week.
do.
No
you
football.
do.
I was about to say pretty soon it's about to be all basketball all the time in Michelle's house because it's about to
Yep.
be the NCAA tournament,
Oh,
WNBA. like,
speaking of
all
which,
that.
Caitlin, I'll be up in Cleveland 27th through April 2nd. Something like that.
Of March?
Yes.
March
All right,
Madness?
you coming to stay at my house? I got a guest room. It has the
I'll
Archer
be-
football wall.
Listen, we got to find a time because they work me like, I won't say what they work me like, but I'll be working
All right.
hard
Well,
during that time.
I will rearrange my entire schedule to come spend time with you. You just let me know when.
Sonya's laughing.
Well, where's that one time we were like looking and we were doing something and she popped up at one of the games? Was it the Dolphin game or somewhere? You popped up and somebody's like,
Germany.
that's Michelle. And I'm like, what?
Where?
Where
I
were
wasn't-
you? You remember that? And she had her Cowboys crap on too, and it wasn't even the Cowboys game.
Oh no, I only wear cowboy stuff. They talk about me on Twitter all the time. The people who wear something that has nothing to do with the game, that's me. That's all I have is cowboy stuff. So what else am I gonna wear? I was at the Dolphins game. Oh, I was in Germany.
You're in Germany.
Germany, that's
Yeah,
right.
in
That's
Germany.
I went to the game. The
We
Dolphins
had no
and Tennessee
idea, and
game.
there you are, and we're like, what?
My friend is a Cowboy
Okay.
fan, a Dolphins season ticket holder. We were in Paris actually for the South Carolina women's and Notre Dame game, and so we went over to the
I
Dolphins
think
game.
is that oh no, she has seen it because didn't I give you tickets to the game one time?
Yep.
Didn't I give your friend tickets to the Dolphin game?
Yep. Not that
Oh
one,
my
but
gosh.
another one.
But
Yeah,
another one, yeah.
We're hanging
This
with
is the
royalty.
one, Lisa, that sits in the 72 club that I
Yes,
sit with when I come
okay.
here.
Oh well.
So why are you coming to Cleveland?
For the Final Four, the women's Final Four.
Oh, awesome.
No, that's going to be so
Awesome.
exciting. Michelle's just so awesome. She's a woman of international mystery.
Yeah.
She
Well, I'm gonna be
pops
in
up
Indy.
everywhere.
Cleveland's in
working.
Mobile this week. I'm gonna be in Indy in a month for the combine.
Yep.
And then Michelle will be
if-
here. We'll have people on assignment.
we
doing
got the
sports
draft
for the next few
In
months.
Detroit,
I was
right?
about to say, if
Wait,
all
where's
goes
the draft?
well,
I gotta do some
Detroit.
assignments.
Detroit.
come on, come to the draft with me. If all
Oh,
goes
yeah.
well, come on up
Yeah,
to the
let's
draft
go to
in
Detroit. I'm
Yeah,
putting
we'll
on
go
my
to
Detroit
Detroit.
hat.
I need
There
someone
you
to
go.
go to the
No, you
combine
won't.
with me.
No, you
I have a
all by
Detroit
myself.
hat because I was
You-
a Piston fan growing up.
Oh,
So
okay.
it says Detroit. but
Bad
it's
boys.
actually a Piston fan. Yeah.
But yeah, no, we're hopefully, if all goes well, we'll head to the draft. If I can't go, if you want to go right ahead. I don't know if Dano's
I
gonna
would
like
love
me
to
for
be
that, but yeah, just
You
go.
said what?
It'd be fun.
We need Dana's permission.
I know. Is Bo Nix gonna be top 5? Yes,
But wait, how old is Bo? 30 already. I mean, he's gonna be old when he gets to the NFL. He's been playing for like 8 years.
I think he'll be top 5. Don't you think?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I can't wait to see him. I mean, he's here. I hope he's, hope I can get to him. I'm really looking. I'll tell you who I'm really looking. I want to look at Milton, Joe Milton, the quarterback from Tennessee. That's the one that's got me so. I mean, because this kid played outstanding some games, and then
And then he goes back. Yeah.
Good Lord, he like regresses back to high school. It's like, dude, are you not reading the cover 2s? Are you not reading the man on man? I mean, where are we with you progressing through defenses and reads? And then the next game, man, he's like bam, bam, bam,
Lighten it
beautiful.
up.
Yeah.
Lighten it up.
Right,
He's
really
very
liked him.
inconsistent. Very inconsistent.
Yes. Greg
Yeah.
really
You don't
liked
know
him
what
at
you're gonna get.
Michigan.
Like I became a Michael
Yes.
Penix fan
Mhm.
because I told you I like the Pac-12. So
Right,
I watched
right.
their games. So I saw mostly all of his games, and his play in the championship was so uncharacteristic. I mean, like he hadn't played and I know their defense was playing well. He hadn't done any of that. He hadn't played like that. His throws were off, and I've seen him pressured and things before, but his throws were so off. Everything was just terrible. But then I saw he was hurt too. So, but he just
Well, and
didn't look.
you wonder at that point too, is he thinking about the NFL? Are we jet setting a little bit too much? Are we, you kind of look, he's, because like I said, you're hot and cold with Michael Penix when you talk to scouts. You talk to, the kid's been in college for 15 years. The kid, so it's like you're good, so it's kind of interesting to see if somebody's going to pull the trigger on him. And it's in Bo. Where's Bo?
I think this
He
quarterback.
was so accurate. I loved him.
Yeah,
because
and
he
throw
was so
Spencer
accurate.
Rattler. I'm putting Rattler right in that whole mix.
Now, Rattler, speaking of inconsistency, Rattler's there was a disappointment to me. I mean, I think his college career was a bit of a disappointment to me.
A lot of
them
them
were. For me,
Yeah.
the Heisman candidates, I was not happy with the way they played in the playoffs and the bowl games. I think that's maybe where John's come at it, that he thinks this year's quarterback class is going to be a disappointment. I hate saying nice things about Michigan players, but I feel like J.J. McCarthy is more NFL ready than some of these other guys that were in the Heisman conversations.
See, I think the opposite is going to happen. I think that they're going to surprise some people when they get to the next level. It just seems that
I would pull the trigger.
not
on
all
Bo
of
Nix.
them.
I would pull the trigger on Bo Nix.
I think go to the nearest cathedral and light a candle
those
for
extra
whoever the Panthers
3 or
draft.
4 years that Bo had. I think that helped him out.
I do too. I think he's. I think you could do something with him, and it's going to be interesting because I mean, in Mobile this week, these quarterbacks are going to have a chance. They're going to have. They're going to. And this is a great class to say, okay, you were a bit of a disappointment, so you have to show something. We don't have an ego here with any of these guys because none of these guys are like, oh my God, we got to have him, except for maybe Bo's agent putting some stuff out. I mean. So I would kind of think that, it's going to be a fun show for me because, I love my quarterbacks.
Well, this is why I think they're going to surprise some of us because these quarterbacks have played longer in college. Like they're not like one and done, and then to the NFL where they're learning. They've only been a starter for 1 year, or they played on the national championship, but they only really started 1 year, 1 or 2 years, and that's what we've gotten a lot of in the past, where they look great in college, but when you think about it, they only really played one season, and so your rookie season, you can come out and look pretty good, decent sometimes, because they don't have the film on you, they haven't seen you, and by the end of the year, that's when you can tell where it's going from there, because by then the defenses, the NFL defenses have caught up with you. But I think this is a more veteran group. So, I think it might be some surprises when they get to the next level.
Somebody asked if you thought one of those guys was a top 5 pick.
That was both.
There's a couple of them that I could see. But here's the thing. In the top 5, I think there are only 2 teams that need quarterbacks.
That's what I'm saying.
Are the Bears going to ride with Justin Fields, or are they going to take someone at 1? You got the Commanders at 2, probably going quarterback. Patriots at 3, better go quarterback. Cardinals
better.
Ride or dying with Kyler Murray. You've got the Chargers with, Herbert at 5. I think maybe there's only 2 going in the top 5.
Lisa said it best.
People trade in and out.
It's a big class of O-linemen, and that's where the Bears, that's where some of these people with these quarterbacks that already, that's where they need to go.
And that's where the Bears need to go.
They need to go.
That's where the Bears need to go.
Yep.
Their first pick need to be on the offensive line.
Yes, I agree. Absolutely, 100%.
Yep.
It ain't sexy, but if they want to really keep and further develop,
they gotta build in the trenches.
They gotta protect him.
That's where the game begins, right?
There's some big boys in this class, guys. I mean, some big boys,
and you can't pass up on them. You can't pass up on them, and we tend to, because we go for all of those style picks. But listen, if you have a quarterback. The Panthers, do they have any picks? I think they gave all theirs away, because they definitely need some of those offensive linemen.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. And, and you think about when the Lions kind of started to rebuild, and that's who they got, Frank Ragnow. And everybody's like, what? Why are we getting him? But
now
he
look,
you
needed him.
Exactly. Needed him. And
y'all needed to run the ball too. Look, I done got mad again. I'm not talking about the Lions. No.
Love you, Michelle.
I was in the sports bar with the Lions fans, and they were I have some friends who been coming to the sports bar. I've been knowing them for all the 10, 20 years I've been going in that sports bar, and I just felt for them. Like I was cheering for them, and they just, when San Francisco started coming back, they got so sad, and I got sad with them, because I'm like, I really, really, really want you guys to go to this Super Bowl. That. Like I feel really bad that you've been all your life, you've been here, and you've never had this opportunity, and I wanted them to have that opportunity. So,
man, but that was a great first half, though. Felt really good.
Lord. And when he didn't kick that first field goal, I was like, "Here we go again." See,
I don't know.
They haven't learned from the Dallas game. Kick the field goal.
I did not realize. I knew the Bears got that pick from the Panthers. I didn't realize the Panthers don't have a first-round pick at all.
They don't.
No,
they don't.
They
don't have one at all. And every quarterback coming out of college is breathing a sigh of relief, because that's a place you don't want to go until they fix what's going on in there.
They don't like the owner here, so at all.
Right. Sonia, is it about that time?
We're overtime.
It's about that time. We're overtime.
We're in trouble.
That's okay. We're in trouble. Dana will be fine. She's going to get some good medicine soon, so it'll be okay. Michelle, as always, it's been a blast. Thank you so much for coming on.
I'm so glad to see you guys.
Glad to see you. Thanks for hanging out with me at the Celebration Bowl. That was so much fun. We're going to do that again next year. I'm
so glad you got a chance to be there, and you did great. Your interviews I heard, and in Radio Row and all of that stuff. So wonderful.
Thank you so much. That was so much fun. Can't wait to do it again next year. Lisa, have fun in Mobile.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to hear about it. You should be able to go. You should try and go live.
Yeah, I'll try. I'll try to do some. It just depends on. Like I said, I expect a lot of people, because the traffic indicator and trying to get credentials tonight, it's crazy. I mean, it was like they got
the weather lit up. Pretty decent, all things considered. This late in January, the weather up here for people traveling down, you're not having bad weather down there.
Right. And they got a lot of things added. They got the Counting Crows concert coming. I mean, it's. I think a lot of people are excited. Yeah, a lot of new things. So hopefully I can hit some of those and kind of get some. But like I said, I'm excited. You know me, I love this quarterback class because I just think they're just all going to ball out. So and I'll be watching some big old linemen. So
I'll be watching.
Yeah. That's right. We'll be watching.
For the next few weeks, we'll be talking an awful lot of college. We'll talk about who Lisa's seeing at the Reeces Bowl. We'll talk about prospects that I'm going to keep an eye on. Some of the ones that Lisa's seeing, I'm going to keep an eye on at the combine. We'll start talking draft. We really need to do a lot more college talk. We want to. We're trying to get Dana more into the college stuff. She's got so many things going on with football and sporting and her soccer and everything else that she is not as up to speed on college. So we're dragging her kick and screaming into the exciting world of college football.
Tell her to get with it.
She's getting there.
Tell her to get with it. She's getting there.
Yeah.
If we go to a Kansas City sporting event, she can definitely
absolutely
She can definitely enjoy some college.
Sure.
Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. College is a blast. I love it. All right, y'all. Well, thank you so much. Catch us next week. Same bat time, same bat place. Deuces, y'all.
Deuces. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Go Blue.